Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Blue Jay Banter postseason post-game show. As we mentioned earlier on, this is going to be a little bit different than our normal post-games, but hang with us. We got a lot of great stuff for you. First up, we want to thank the Doubletree here in New York City for hosting us and helping us out with this. Secondly, just want to mention the great sponsors we've had that have sponsored all of our postseason trips. Equitable Bank, We Take Banking Personally, West Pacific Dental Group, CareMinders Home Health Care, and a new sponsor for the postseason this year, Rod Jewell and team at Mass Mutual Central USA. Jays go down 78-73, incredibly disappointing. We were down in the locker room after the game. It was a pretty somber locker room, especially knowing that next week is the whole prize and 6 more wins gets you a national championship. But they were pretty down after that game, and it was a tough game, down early. I thought the team had some jitters, especially early on. I thought, we had Stephen Ashworth out there for the first time in Madison Square Garden in the Big East Tournament. You're going to hear his conversation we had with him a little later. I thought he had some jitters and probably didn't play as well as he normally does. Certainly Baylor, too, uncharacteristically was a little jittery. He just didn't shoot the ball well tonight. Threw up some shots he normally doesn't throw up. He was 4 of 16 and 2 of 10 from 3, which really kind of hurt us. I thought the first half, we got gains in early foul trouble, and actually they took it to us from that point on. They were very, very physical. This reminded me of a game that we played early on in the conference season where it was very physical. The refs let everybody play. It turned into almost a football game at times. It didn't really get to that point tonight, but it was very physical out there, and we weren't used to that physicality again. We hadn't played Providence in a while, and it took us a while to adjust. We got that early technical on kind of a questionable call on a three-pointer. Steven made both free throws. Trey made his 3 free throws, and all of a sudden we were up 13-6. However, that technical worked out well for Providence because they went 11-2 run after that, took the lead. We did narrow it down at halftime, got it to 3, and actually had a chance to tie there at the buzzer at halftime. As always, those first 4 minutes coming out of the half are so important, and that's when Providence really took it to us. We just seemed totally out of sync in the first half, especially on the offensive end. We just didn't seem to get into our flow. It took us a long time. A lot of the threes were late shot clock threes, and that puts more pressure on the shooters. So I thought all of that combined made it just very clunky in the first half. As I said, we kind of lost those first 4 minutes of the second half. And then we got down, we kind of went back and forth with them. It hung around 10, 11, 13 points. And I kept saying to myself, boy, if we get this, once we get it to 10, I thought, if we can just get a couple of stops here, and boom, all of a sudden, a couple of stops, a 3 by Ashworth, and all of a sudden, we're only 3 down. We actually took the lead at one point in a couple possessions, but a big play in the game, and we're going to get to a worst call of the night right now. And it's sponsored by Equitable Bank. We Take Banking Personally. They have 2 great locations in Omaha, one just north of the Schwab headquarters and one out in Pierce Street in Elkhorn. They do everything for you, loans, personal banking. Check them out today, Equitable Bank. They're the Bank of Blue Jay Banter, and you'll be very happy you did because their customer service is off the charts. So Equitable Bank, we take banking personally, and they do answer the phone on the first ring. Tony Ciazza, who is, I won't tell who said this in the locker room, but said he's got to be the worst referee in the Big East. He's the one who teed up Kim English. That tee was very deserved. I mean, he was going ballistic on that call. But it was the block charge underneath when Kalkbrenner was there. Oduro was banging into him all night long to try and get position. He really went into Kalkbrenner hard. Kalkbrenner goes down. There's no call in the play. He misses his shot. We get the rebound. We had the rebound, and then he blows the whistle. I've never seen a call that late. The guy next to me was from Villanova. He was like, I can't believe the whistle was blown that late on a foul call. That was huge because we had got the rebound. I think we were only down 1 at the time. It could have came down and got a bucket. Instead, they went up 3, and then that's when they kind of pulled it out there at the end. So that's the worst call of the game. Unsung hero. This is going to be a real tough one tonight, but it's our sponsor is Care Minders, who's been our title sponsor all year long. When you're in need of care for your injured, ill, or senior loved one, make sure you reach out to Care Minders. Their agency is comprised of certified caregivers who have many years of experience. You'll receive versatile, flexible, and customized care for your peace of mind and well-being. So first, go to caremindersnebraska.com. Check out everything they have to offer. And then if you have questions, give them a call, or when you're ready to use their services, 402-532-1383. That's 402-532-1383, Care Minders. Tough to do an unsung hero. We got nothing from the bench tonight. We got 3 points from Fran. I'm just going to give it to Steven, even though he had a very subpar shooting night. He made all his free throws, but man, he got banged around a lot out there, and I think he showed some of his toughness. He got a couple of really tough rebounds in some key stretches when we were trying to make that comeback there in the second half. So I'm going to give it to him for being so tough out there and being the smallest guy on the court and still going in there, going in with the big guys and getting some rebounds. And then, as I said, we hung around, we cut it down, and then, that foul kind of threw us off, and then we just couldn't get enough stops. I thought overall we did a pretty good job on Devin Carter, Player of the Year in the Big East. I mean, he's tough to guard. But in the end, he had 19 points, but I thought they were really hard-earned by him. It was like some of the other guys that kind of hurt us a little bit, some other guys that normally don't have that big of an impact on their team. But at any rate, it is what it is. It's one loss. I know we're hearing a lot from people out in the I've seen tweets and so forth that, wow, we can't win playing that few guys. I've heard from national guys when we were waiting to go in the locker room. There's a couple of national guys that came up to me and said, "Hey, we can't. They're just not deep enough. We can't win with that." Well, to that I'd say, number one, we've played with this kind of rotation all year. Now it was a little bit less tonight, but again, we had more rest too. Number two, these guys are in incredible shape, and they've shown it all year. I don't think they were really tired tonight. I would have liked to seen us get Kalk a break at some point. I think he got maybe a little tired. He was having to guard a lot of those pick and rolls, and it was really hard for him and expended a lot of energy. But that's where Fred comes in. Jason Green got a few minutes. Fran hit 1 3. But other than that, that's the only guys that played. Mason didn't get much run tonight, 18 minutes. I would like Mac to get a little bit more experience. Hopefully in the NCAA tournament, we'll be a 3 seed. We'll be playing a 14. Maybe we can get out, get a 10, 12, 14-point lead on this team and get some guys into the game, get them experience playing in the NCAA tournament, and that may help them a lot. Opponent preview, we don't have one tonight, obviously, because we don't know who we're going to play, but that's sponsored by West Pacific Dental Group. Dr. Holman and his staff do a tremendous job. They're my dentist, so check them out today. West Pacific Dental Group, 402-697-0765. You'll be glad you did. Selection Sunday, they're going to have a big selection party down at Sokol, so head on down there. Both the men's and the women's going to be a combined selection show, so hang out down there. It'll be a fun time. Selection shows at 5 o'clock Central, so check out the Jays. I'm projecting to be a 3 seed. By the way, I have a new bracket coming out tomorrow on Stadium, so you'll be able to see that. Next game of time, we don't know if we play in Memphis or Indy. Will be on a Friday. Pittsburgh will be a Thursday. Those are the 2 most common sites that we will go to, those 3. So check it out to kind of get your travel plans lined up. Those will be the best sites, so you can start looking right now for hotels and flights and so forth. Indy, of course, you can drive to. It's only about an 8+ hour drive, which isn't bad at all. So we're going to sign off. As we said, this isn't our normal show. Before we do, I just want to kind of run through the scoring. Kalkbrenner had 19 points, 12 rebounds. I thought he played really well. Had a lot of blocks tonight, too. Trey ended up with 19. Was a little bit cold early, but then finally found his rhythm there in the second half. Ashworth and Baylor had 16. Again, Baylor 4 of 16, 2 of 10 from 3. That really hurt us. We were overall 6 of 26 from 3. You can make all the excuses you want. Creighton's not going to win when they go 6 of 26 from 3. Just not going to happen. And frankly, Providence didn't shoot it much better. They were 6 of 23. They just beat us down in the lane with those pick and rolls and got it deep with Duro and Carter that killed us. Free throws, what a free throw shooting game. Providence was 14 of 14. Now, we shot a lot more. We were 23 of 26. We were 20 for 20 off the bat. And I said, gosh, Kalkburn was at the line. I said, we're due to miss one here. Ryan's knocked down quite a few tonight, and he's not that good of a free throw shooter, about 65, 70%. And he missed one. Trey uncharacteristically missed two there that could have helped us out. But when you shoot 23 at 26 from the free throw line, that's pretty good shooting from the line overall. And I think you can take that every night. Right now, we're gonna bid you a farewell. What you're going to see next are the interviews we did in the locker room with Stephen Ashworth and Derek Kellogg, assistant coach Derek Kellogg. But before you see those interviews, we're going to shoot you a message from our new sponsor. It's the Rod Jewell team at Mass Mutual Central USA, and we'll see you on Monday on Blue Jay Banter. No matter what financial circumstances you are in, Rod Jewell and his team at Mass Mutual Central US are here to help protect you and your family through the many changes that happen in your life. Rod Jewell offers a total financial needs analysis that can include fee-based financial planning, investment advisory services, retirement needs analysis, estate strategies, employee benefits, and retention strategies and business continuation strategies. You can reach him at 402-343-8319 or email him at rejewell@financialguide.com. The views and opinions expressed are those of Blue Jay Banter LLC and program participants, and not necessarily those of MML Investor Services LLC. Rod Jewell, CLU, CFBS, CLTC is a registered representative and offers securities and investment advisory services through MML Investor Services LLC, member SIPC, address 100 South 5th Street, Unit 2300, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55402, telephone 612-333-1413. Rod is domiciled in Nebraska. Blue Jay Banter LLC is not affiliated with MML Investor Services LLC. All right, we're done here in the locker room with Stephen Ashworth. Tough one tonight, Ash.
Absolutely. Hard-fought game. Didn't go our way towards the end of it, but it's how the ball rolls and bounces sometimes, so got a lot to learn from it, and thankfully it's not the end.
Well, I mean, the first thing jumps out to you, Creighton's not going to win a lot of games going 6 for 26 and 3, right?
Yeah.
And did you feel like a lot of the looks were good, or, I mean, you guys had to work hard to get open, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they did a really good job defensively, and, I think some of those 26 were probably towards the end of the shot clock, and so there was low percentage threes anyway, but then there was a few of them that myself in particular were halfway down, it felt like, and were really good looks, and one more passes that were being made, and so there were some good looks, but at the same time, when you don't see it going early, it can kind of be hard to kind of get into your rhythm.
Sure, and it wasn't going in early for you. Were you kind of feeling that a little bit? Or how much were the jitters of the playing in the Garden? Because, most teams have that here. It's just natural.
Yeah, it's a big stage. I'd argue one of the biggest stages in college basketball, especially when it comes to conference tournaments, probably the biggest stage. And so there's obviously going to be some nerves, and you're playing for a championship, and any time that you're playing for a championship is really meaningful. And so, but at the same time, we've played a lot of basketball, so
sure.
It is. You got to treat it like it's just one more game, and you got to be able to go out and perform.
Physicality. This seemed a lot like some of the games earlier in the year in the conference season when it was almost a football game out there and it was very physical.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you guys were ready for it because that's the way Providence plays.
Yeah, we knew that it was going to be very physical. Our last two matchups with them were super physical, and so trying to make sure that we could find ways to counteract that physicality with our play. And unfortunately, I didn't think that we were able to quite figure it out early on. I think that later on we got to a few more flare screens, and that then opened up Kalk in the lane for some of the post-ups in the second half, which we weren't getting as much of in the first half. So, I think we'll watch the film and learn from it for sure.
Did you think that, making that, you're down 10-13, you came back, did that take a lot out of you guys to make that run to get back?
I think it always does. When you have to make a run, you're exerting a lot of energy, and you're trying to get multiple stops in a row and make timely buckets, and we were able to do that, but at the end, I didn't think that we executed as well as we've normally done, and so we're definitely going to learn from that. And but at the same time, I don't think that we were over fatigued. I think we had Our legs, we had our minds, but at the same time, we just didn't quite execute towards the end.
Right. Well, positive is get your feet up now, get back to Omaha, get your feet up, and get ready for next week, right?
Yeah, next week, and
wipe the slate clean, start all over.
Yeah, learn from it, wash it, and use it for fuel to not feel like this the rest of March.
Yeah. Where would you like to go? Salt Lake?
I love the hometown, Salt Lake City, but
not going to happen, bud.
Yeah,
just let you know.
Probably not. So you probably know where we're at already.
Memphis, Pittsburgh probably are the best options right now.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad. It's not that far from Omaha.
Not that bad at all. So just grateful to be able to play in the dance, grateful to be able to play with our team a few more times, and hopefully it's 6 more times. So
right.
Go Jays.
We'll see you in the tourney.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
man.
Yep. All right. We're here with Derek Kellogg. Tough one, Coach.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I thought both teams played really hard. I just thought they made some plays down the stretch, and we let them get a pretty large lead there in the second half, and we fought back, and I thought we gave up a lot of energy coming back, and honestly, we missed a couple free throws. Steven had a 3 that sat inside the rim and came out, and on those tight games in big environments like this, you kind of need all those plays to go for you.
But up until that point, you were 20 for 20. So
yeah, that is true. Yeah. But they were also 12 for 12, I think.
Yeah,
it was, so.
yeah. But at some point there, we were going to miss one. But we shot the ball extremely. Without those free throws, we'd have been in big trouble early in the game. It seemed like the offense just couldn't get in sync in the first half.
We struggled some. I think they did a good job of really denying and making the catches hard and tough, and kind of forced our offense out quite a bit. And I thought we settled down a little bit more in the second half, went on some good runs there. And honestly, we didn't really shoot the ball great.
No,
we had a lot of open
26.
threes and that normally go down. And I think for us to be really successful, obviously, we have to defend at a high level, but we also need to make some threes. And tonight, we didn't shoot the ball particularly well.
Yeah, and I thought, Baylor, who's just carried us all year, struggled a little bit tonight to
shoot the ball. It's different. You play in these NBA arenas. I think the lighting's a little different. The rims are a little tighter. It's a little bit of a higher level game, and sometimes those shots just don't go in. How you make up for that is you can get some offensive rebounds, you can come up with some more loose balls and steals and defensive rebounds and things of that nature. Basically, the hustle plays, and we had some.
Yeah.
But I think to win when you're not shooting the ball well, you have to come up with all those plays.
Did you feel that you got the ball inside enough tonight?
We did when we were playing well. I thought Ryan really worked hard at different junctures, and that's when we kind of made our runs, is when he really dominated on the defensive and offensive end of the floor. I thought that's when we went on that big run there in the second half. He really anchored us defensively. He gave us a post presence on the offensive end of the floor. And, I guess we needed him to do something like that for 40 minutes, which is very difficult to do.
Did it kind of hurt that, you hadn't seen Providence in quite a while?
I don't think so. I mean, we have a pretty good indication of how they play and what they're trying to do. I thought they had a good game plan, just like we had a good game plan. And I thought, Carter made some big plays at Dorb. But what really happened is their secondary guys, Floyd and Barron.
I thought we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, and I thought Floyd and Barron made some shots that are a little bit uncharacteristic. Floyd was 2 for 2 from 3 in the first half. Barron started the second half on a personal 8-0 run, which personally that gave them a little bit of a boost that we weren't expecting.
Yeah. Well, the good news is, go back home, you wash this away, and start all over next week.
Yeah, gives us a little extra time to practice and work on a few things that I think will help us in the long run, which is ultimately to get to the NCAA tournament, advance, and try to win a national championship.
Absolutely. Do you think that I was talking with Stephen that that big run you had to get back into the game? You're down 13, then you got back in. It's easy just to say, well, it took a lot of it. It's hard to get over that hump. Do you think that was at all the factor?
I think that happens quite a bit in college basketball. Teams get down a little more than they should for one reason or another, and then they storm back, and then all of a sudden, things happen. It could be a call here or there. It could be a shot that doesn't go down, and then all of a sudden they get the momentum back a tad, and then you're kind of in a dogfight down the stretch.
Yeah. All right, TK, thanks so much.
No problem.
We'll see you on the road,
Absolutely.
wherever we end up.
Well, we're going to find out soon.
Yep.
All right,
thanks.
Thank you.